Alright, so now we're all set to actually wire up which of these tabs we're currently on. So the way that we'll do this is we can actually check the route that we're currently on with a special variable. Come up here at the top above our const of routes, and we have access to a window.location.pathname, and that will give us whatever route we're currently at, whether it's slash, slash hats, slash hoodies. So we need to use this to determine and set an active tab. So the way that we'll do this is by creating a function that will check against our window.location.pathname and use that to find the route that has that same path and then return that index. Okay, so we can go ahead and actually remove that, and we will create up here a const of active index, and this is going to be an arrow function. So we'll open this up, and inside of here, let's start off with a const of found, and this will be the route that we are hoping to find and currently be at. So the way that we'll do this, we'll set this equal to our routes, and we want to find the index of the route that we're currently at. So we have a helpful JavaScript function, the .index of. And now inside of here, we just need to pass it the route that matches our window.location.pathname. So what we'll do is we'll again take our routes, but this time we will .filter them for the specific route that we're looking for. So this will be an arrow function, but instead of just using the route like this, we could actually go ahead and remember all of these are going to be at the route.node.name. So we could go ahead and out of route, we can wrap it in braces to destructure out the node. So route.node, and then we can actually destructure even further from here. So we can do a colon, and then another set of braces to destructure out of that the route.node.name. And now we can just work with the name over here in our arrow function. So now we can check, we can filter for the name that matches the route we're currently at. So let's do a set of backticks, and then slash, and then inject the name.toLowercase, and we'll check if this is equal to the window.location.pathname. All right, so again, I said that this is going to return either slash or slash shirts or slash hoodies or whatever we're at. And so we are filtering, we're filtering our routes. So this will only return the one route where the name.lowercase is equal to that path that we're at, or the slash name. So slash shirts, if we are at slash shirts, this will be equal, and this will then resolve to the object for that route, and then index of will return the index that that route is currently at. All right, and we can use that index to then pass to our tabs and set the active tab correctly. One thing to keep in mind here though, for passing index of, is that filter always returns an array. Okay, so here, this is going to return an array, but we don't want the array, we just want the actual route object. So we'll go ahead and pull off, using bracket notation, the 0th index of that array, which will be the actual object. Then we'll be able to find the index of that object within routes, and we'll know the index of our currently active tab. Now we can come down, and we just need to return, and we'll check found. And if it's equal to -1, that means that it didn't find a single route that matches the window.location.pathname. And that'll actually be the case for slash, because we don't have a route for slash, for home. These are all just the routes from our categories. Okay, so if we're at the home page, it's not going to find the index of that route, and so it will return -1. So if that's the case, we're going to return false. Otherwise, we're going to return found, the index that we did find. All right, so now we can come down to our tabs, and instead of just passing in the value of 0, let's call our active index function. And instead of passing in the arrow function, we'll just pass in the function call itself, because every time this is rendered, or it is changed and so it re-renders, we want to make sure that we're finding the new active tab. So we'll want this to be called immediately. All right, and now let's also scroll down here to our swipeable drawer with our list, and we can pass a prop to our list items so that they know whether or not they are selected or if we're at that individual tab. The way we can do this is when we map over our routes, it gives us access to the individual route, but if we wrap that in parentheses, we can also get the index of that route. Okay, so then we can add a selected prop to our list item, and this will just be a Boolean for true or false, whether or not this is selected. So we'll know that this list item is selected if the active index function is equal to the index of the current route. So if we're on /shirts, let's see, that would be the second index, and so active index would return 2, and so when this is mapping over it, for the first one, it'll equal 0, and that's not true, so it'll be false. The second one, it'll equal 1, so that'll be false as well. But then on shirts, I will be equal to 2, which will be what active index returns, so that will be true, and this will be marked as selected. So let's go ahead and save that and flip on over, and it looks like we've got an error. I just forgot to add up here on our active index call. When we destructure this out, we need to make sure we still wrap those in parentheses. Let's go ahead and save that. Now if we flip back on over, so we're at our home page. So now we see no routes are selected. But if I go ahead and click onto hats, well, check that out. Now we've got hats as being marked correctly as active since we're at the /hats route. If we go to hoodies, you see the same thing, shirts, and contact, it looks like we're having an issue there. And that's because contact us is different than /contact, the path that we're actually at. So we need to add an exception for that. So it's either going to be the name .to lowercase, or we should first check for the link, the node.link, which we've added here. So we can go ahead and make sure that we also destructure out the link. And now we can check if the link, which will be /contact, or the name is equal to window.location.pathname. And let's make sure we wrap that in parentheses, just make sure this is executed in the correct order. So we can go ahead and save that. And now we correctly see contact us selected. Let's go ahead and shrink this down. And now if we open up our drawer, check that out. We've got the selected list item inside of our drawer. We can go to shirts, open it back up, and we've got it as well. Let's make sure this works for all of them. And we've now correctly set the active tab based on the route that we're currently at.